Boom. Dave Sampson, thank you very much for joining the show once again. Second time is a charm having you here.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
The reason why I thought of you to come have you here, I think about we're in the same business somewhat, entertainment. Yep. The ups and downs of the entertainment industry right now, and COVID can be tough, can be good. And I remember back in Christmas when you sold out a couple shows, and then for those to be canceled, my heart was broken for you.
Thanks,
I thought of you, and I was like, we got to get Dave on here at some point over these cold winter months. So we're happy to have you back in the studio, big guy.
Oh, well, good to be back hanging out with y'all. It's great.
Well, it was fun playing golf together this summer too. I completely forgot about that. Golf was fun.
I forgot about that too until I was on the way. I was like, it hasn't been that long since I've seen these guys.
What'd you say? The noodles were on sale?
The noodles were on sale at Winners. I lost them all.
That was a fun day.
You know?
It was a great time.
It was good, though. Steve Lund let me check him for ticks after the game, so that was fun, you know?
You're pumped. What an honor.
What a handsome guy. I saw you had him on the show yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. He's just another one of those guys where you don't have to worry about. He's just a gabber. He just comes on and he talks. And just a great guy.
Yeah,
just an overall, like, he cares about other people that he's around.
Yeah, he's that was the first time I actually met him.
Me too.
But we have so many mutual friends, and especially when he's playing with the Rockets, and just throughout when he's playing hockey, and
You guys are probably the same age group.
He's a little bit older than I am.
Okay.
Well, probably a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm 32.
He's 33.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So one of my longtime best buddies, Joey Haddad, who I grew up with next door, probably my best buddy.
What?
Played with the Rockets. Yeah.
I know. I'm very well of who Joey Haddad is.
Yeah. So Joe, grew up with. So all these guys, I went to St. X, but a lot of my friends played in the Q, right? So my other best buddy is Ryan Sparling.
What?
Spar, yeah. So we played with the Sea Dogs, and then he played for X for a little bit, but we partied a lot. But all those guys, right? So I always hung out with hockey players.
That's wicked.
Always, yeah. So it's cool, but yeah. That's
that's awesome. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is it a good time right now with the ups and downs emotionally? Maybe not, but like to write songs.
Yeah.
Is it a good time?
I guess so. There's never really a bad time. There's never a good time. It's like I was saying before, I do a lot of co-writing. I work with a lot of other writers, and with COVID, it canceled a lot of trips, especially when I was going down to Nashville or traveling to LA or going to Toronto and doing a lot of these sessions. But the world got a little smaller with Zoom. So all of a sudden I was able to get into writing sessions and rooms with people I could never get into with in Nashville, because it was a little easier to hop on Zoom. And, it's weird, right? But
do
it's
you
also,
like that?
Yeah, I love it. I hate it. I love it. But also, it's really easy to cancel on someone when you have a Zoom session, right? Because it's just, it's really easy to just kind of fuck off.
Yeah.
But, I liked it for a bit. I was really hard on her the first year of COVID. And then, to be honest, most of the people I was writing with were in Nashville. And Nashville has been business as usual for a year and a half. The COVID really...
Whole America
barely existed there. So all of a sudden it was hard to get people to write on Zoom because they were writing in person,
Interesting.
And I went there. I was there for 3 weeks in November in Nashville, and that was great. And then I was supposed to be back there right now, actually, cutting a record and writing for. I think I was supposed to be there for a month, and I had to cancel the trip just because of. I was scared of getting COVID because the Omicron variant was around. I was scared that I was going to get it there and have to quarantine and isolate in the U.S. for another 2 weeks because everybody was getting it. And then I got COVID 4 weeks ago, actually, right after Christmas, randomly, but right after I canceled my trip. So,
no.
Yeah.
That's the tough thing with these quarantines. Like, you can't just sit in a room for 14 days with 50,
no.
That's just impossible. In my life, that's impossible. I'm sorry if people listening are like, Justin, how can you? You can't sit in a room for 14 days. That's death to me.
Unless you smoke weed.
Sure.
That will pass the time. And it does. And it did.
Did it?
For this guy, but yeah, but also the quarantine times cut in half when I caught COVID.
Yeah.
So it was 7 days.
Yeah,
so
okay.
that was fine,
That's
Yeah.
not bad then.
It wasn't bad,
Yeah.
I didn't run out of weed, so.
I wish maybe I wouldn't be too afraid of quarantine if I got high a little bit more often.
It sucks. No.
It sucks.
It's not fun. Yeah, you're watching the same show over and over again. How many times can you watch The Office?
Oh my god. Netflix. I'm done with everything on every video on YouTube. I think I've watched. I've been in some dark corners of the internet these past 2 years. Dark corners. Like you're there for 5-6 hours just looking up a topic. You're just like,
You're like, what is an NFT?
yeah.
What is the metaverse? Someone tell me.
How do I get in?
I can't buy. I'm trying to buy a home here. Like, can I afford one in the metaverse? I don't know.
You just have to NFT your home. Apparently, that's what you have to do. Yeah, you got to hire a designer to take a picture of your home and then get them to design it online and then buy it.
I guess maybe I should become a realtor in the metaverse. Like, are those guys making coin? Or
I don't know if I should be laughing or if that's just like maybe you could, maybe.
I don't know. I have no idea what that is, and I hope I never do, to be honest.
I would say up to this point in my life, I'm very tech savvy. I know how to send an email. I know how to Zoom. I know how to, things I help my parents with. Yeah. Like, I know how to do everything. But it's at that point, I think, right now, where I'm starting to feel like the old guy a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, I'm feeling like that right now, big time. Like, I just, like, what is crypto? What is an NFT? What is the metaverse? I think I have an idea of what it is a little bit, but I still don't want anything to do with it. I mean,
I've lost a lot of money in crypto.
Have you?
Yeah, and I came home. I had a couple drinks probably like a month ago, and I came home and I bought an NFT. It was like a little bunny, looked like it was on Molly.
Molly bunnies.
It was like it was like 150 like US. And I looked at it. I was like, oh, they got apparently if the NFT has a high Twitter following, apparently it's good. And it was really just like my budget. I was like, I'm not going to spend anything over this much for something I have no idea what it is. But everyone's like, oh, you need one. I'm like, all right, I'll get one.
So is that what made you buy it? You were just kind of Googling.
The pressure from other people.
So you Googled, what makes a valuable NFT, and then a high Twitter following.
A community around the NFT is what makes a good NFT.
A Discord, right? That's what you call it, a Discord.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
I mean, why do I know that?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like it's a following around this group, and it's same as like in Nelk Boys, the
Metacard.
The Nelk Boys released a set of NFTs, and they think I feel like they made $25 million in a day or something, and they just kind of, because their Discord, which is their following, is so massive, and it's just a bunch of bros.
Insane.
So that's kind of the following around it. But I mean, who knows? You can also fake that shit. Like you can fake followers. You can fake people around. You can buy. Everything's for sale now. If you want 1 million followers on Twitter, you Google it. You can get it in 2 hours.
Instagram too, as long as you have the money.
Yeah, Instagram, and you can buy streams for music. That's the one thing that's really like you can't. That's really hard to track. I mean, unless you go look in the analytics, and it's like, oh, Dave Sampson has a lot of listeners in Turkey. It doesn't make sense, but it's like that's a big part of it.
That's a big problem in the podcast game right now when it comes to advertisers on podcasts.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people who are faking the downloads, sharing that information to their advertisers, and it's kind of fraud.
Exactly.
It's an actual thing right now.
It is, yeah, and that's a big thing everywhere, right? And it's kind of because people want. It's the exact same thing as for advertising, and it's the same in music, or it's the same as a business, and. If you show that you have a bigger following or audience than you do, and you're taking money from an advertising company, it's bullshit, right?
It's illegal.
Yeah, is it?
It's fraud. You can't just fake numbers and then say, "Look, I'm getting $1 million a month."
Yeah, that's true.
That's lying.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, that's the same. It's the same in Spotify. I mean, I can go and buy 1 million listens to a song, and that's all fake listens, right? But it's like, obviously someone is running a business. I don't know how they do it, but I make money off of that, right?
Yeah. There's definitely lines within this business. I don't know about the music industry, but my business, there's definitely lines that are being crossed but aren't technically illegal, because it's almost, the podcast game is still not, it is mainstream, I guess, but there's still a part of it that isn't. You know, there's still laws that need to be made that aren't being laid down, I guess.
Well, that's fraud against like an advertiser for sure. If like you're gonna go buy, spend money on something like that, it's like, yeah, obviously that's bullshit.
Yeah. I never cared about that. I always just cared about growing an organic audience. I never really cared about the number. I do care about the numbers. I do. I shouldn't.
Of course.
But I care about a natural, organic audience.
Well, you want listeners to come back, and it doesn't make sense. Like bullshitting numbers on whether it's subscribers or whatever, like is the only thing that's going to do for you is going to make it valuable for someone that wants to invest in it. It's not like, it could also me looking through a list of podcasts, that might make me want to click on yours because I see that it has numbers and followers. So there might be, when I see that that's people are engaging in that might make me want to click it, I guess. But it's still bullshit. Yeah. Like, you're still not going to get the real rewards out of it, which is like, because that it's bullshit. Yeah. So you're not going to feel like you're famous because you're the one that, fucked around.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's 100% true.
Yeah.
What does it feel right now when you have to cancel a show? How does that feel? I already know the answer, but I need to get the.
Yeah, it sucks. And I've been doing it for 2 years now. So it's right when things start to feel good and safe. Fuck. I mean, it sucks. It's like getting kicked in the nuts.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to borrow a cup. You have one around
you got
here.
The dream cup.
Yeah, that's right. But it's it sucks. I mean, it's hard to, as a musician or any business, especially what I do, which is like in the event space. It's if I'm not booking for 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6 months down the road, I'm not playing in 6 months. So it's hard, and now it's really hard to look that far ahead because we don't know what's going to happen. And when you invest all your time and your energy and your money and everything else that goes into it to this uncertainty, it makes it really difficult. And after I've done that a handful of times and watched it work out and watched it not work out, you kind of have to sit back and unfortunately watch how things play out, especially in our province. It sucks right now. We're locked down and watching, most of my industry is based in the U.S. or in Nashville, and to watch it be business as usual there almost this whole time, and we're locked down.
It's extremely frustrating.
It's frustrating, and I get it. I'm not I'm not spewing any hate or negativity. I know it's all for the good, but I do think there's some big issues.
Big issues.
Yeah, especially for business, small businesses. It's even for the funding, the government funding that was allotted to for
small
business
yeah.
stuff. It's still not black and white.
No.
Like some of those it's like show me. It goes against like your payroll that was 2 Novembers ago, and it's like I'm my only guy.
Yeah,
and then it's
you don't have a pay stub for yourself. You just pay yourself.
Yeah, well, yeah. You do have like obviously like true. It's just not as they don't think about that.
Yeah,
and it's like it's really weird. And anyways, what do you do?
Well, yeah, at least with our business, it's momentum based, and I feel it's the very same with you. It's
exactly.
I was talking to Jeff about this the other day. When the past 200 years, when has there been a pandemic? When your music career is going like this, other people's businesses are going like this, and then this thing called COVID hits, and then it's just like whoa.
Yeah.
And when was the last time this ever happened in a lifetime? It's unbelievable to think about how right now this is happening, when so many other things could be happening in terms of success when it comes to business, when it comes to life.
Yeah.
You got to get on with life, and with this going on, and you see it, like, I'll watch American football Saturdays, NFL Sundays.
Isn't it crazy?
80,000 people, and I'm going, why can't there be 20 people in the BMO Arena in Bedford right now playing a game of hockey? Like, what's going on right now?
Everything is fine. People are getting sick, obviously, but I don't know. I don't want to last thing I
I
want
don't
to do
even
is get into
care.
a rant about COVID
I don't even-
on a podcast, because I don't want to come off seem like that guy. That's, it's just, it's frustrating. So what do? We don't know. No one knows what to do, right? And it's kind of out of our hands, unfortunately, right
Very
now.
unfortunate.
And but yeah, it sucks. I mean, it definitely sucked. I mean, had the most momentum of my career leading up to the pandemic. I mean, I put my record out. I was just signed a nice publishing deal. Was in Nashville every couple of months. I was selling out lots of shows and starting to break out into Canada wide, and starting to tour more and get into new markets, and just to watch that shit just get taken away from you. And I was like lucky enough to hold on to some momentum because of what I was building was people that are fans that I've been building forever, right? So same as what we were just talking about with a podcast is like, your followers are, your real followers are going to always listen, and they're not, you want to have that natural following because they're always going to have your back and they're a part of your Discord, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's weird. It sucks. And then trying to like figure out, do I release a bunch of music or do I just sit back?
Yeah.
And write and grow, and then you're watching people just throw tons of shit out, and then people are just like brain fog. They're tired. They don't want to listen to anything. Like, people listen to music when they're doing shit. I mean, I do. Like, I mean, it's when I listen to the most music is when I'm like traveling, when I'm in my car, when I'm like, it's I mean, I listen to more podcasts than music for sure, but I like talk radio. Like, I like that. So I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint, what to fucking do, really. I mean, that's like, I wish I put out a song last year and it was great. It was cool, but I don't know. It's weird to not go and get to play at shows and not to get to, move around, and that's where I get all my energy. That's where I'm an energy vampire. Like, that's where I get all my juice and all my energy is from being around other people, right, and playing shows. And it's like,
You and a lot of other people.
That
Just
everybody,
just going to the grocery store is fun for me now.
Exactly.
Just being out, just around people. I just love being around people and talking to people and feeding off other people's energy. But that leads into my next question.
Sure.
Live performing. Do you need to be doing it all the time to? I don't want to say get better at it, but just to, like, I heard for some performers, if you're not in front of an audience at least once a week, you can start to gain like insecurities. But being in front of people, is it important for you to be able to live perform?
That's a great point. Yeah, you do, because it's like working a muscle.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not necessarily that you're getting all your confidence from doing that, but it's like anything. It's like being on the ice. It's like playing a sport. It's like doing anything. If you're not doing it all the time and practicing that muscle, you're not going to feel as confident. And the farther, the longer you go on, that's going to be how it goes. I mean, it doesn't necessarily say you're not going to perform, but I don't know, it's different for everybody. But yeah, I mean, that's what you look forward to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, the people look forward whenever you see Dave Sampson walk into an establishment and you got a beer in your hand and he has a guitar in his hand. You're in for a good night. It's a great feeling, and to see it like this, not being able to do it sucks for sure.
Yeah, it's too bad.
It's brutal.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, I got away with a nice Halifax show in November, and that was right before shit hit the fan.
Oh yeah.
So it was nice. I mean, I think we sold around 650 tickets or something to the marquee, which is great. Okay. So and that was it. Everyone had a lot of fun because everyone felt like that was their first night out in Halifax. People haven't been around that many people. So I waited for all. It was there was no limit on numbers at that point.
November.
November. It was like, I think we had like 4 months of like, do whatever you want. Like, there's no cap on.
That makes sense. November.
And it was November 6th, and then by the end of November, shit hit the fan. So. So.
What's the topic of conversation right now between Nova Scotia artists? Are you in that realm? Are you talking to? What's the topic of conversation?
I mean, to be honest, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I think we're gonna lose a lot of good artists. like not lose them to the craft. Like I think people are getting real jobs, not real jobs, but they're finding new paths because it doesn't really make sense. And kind of what I do is different than a lot of artists around here, and how I make money is, I don't go play pubs and I don't play any of that shit. I play kind of theaters, and I play bigger shows with a higher ticket price, and I play them very once or twice a year in each market. That's it. So I mean, it really sucked for the guys that are playing at Dirty Nelly's every Friday, Saturday night who lost that opportunity. Those guys, everything was taken away from them, right?
It's fortunate that you have that crowd. And
yeah, I'm lucky enough that I have a good crowd around here where those shows make a lot of money. That let me, I'm still, my last paycheck from a show was that November. And that was my last paycheck. I'm living off of that still. And it's like, I'm lucky that those are nice big paychecks that I can do that, and I'm fine. But if I didn't have that, and I don't know what, I'll be going to welding school.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, it's weird. It sucks for a lot of people. It sucks for me. It sucks for you guys and what you guys do, live streaming hockey games, and just in general, anything in this realm of the entertainment industry. We're the first to go and the last to come back.
Oh, 100%. Sporting industry is the last thing to come back for sure. Look at the Olympics; those guys aren't even going. The NHL guys, at least. Actually, congratulations! They actually just announced the Canadian men's Olympic roster today. It's a lot of like European guys that are Canadian, a couple AHL guys. So congratulations to everyone that made that roster. That's awesome.
That's good.
But one thing we're trying to deal with is we talk about momentum and things like that, and how to like keep a company going, keep it on the upswing. It's very tough right now. Today we're actually going to go we're trying to do different things. So today there's a practice out in East Hants, a bunch of kids, minor league hockey school. I think they're like 13, 14 years old or younger, and we're going to go surprise them, mic a kid up. Kids love being mic'd up.
Cool.
It's
it's
a really big popular aspect of our business. So we're going to go do a behind the scenes video, get some reactions, get these kids excited, and then do the actual mic'd up video. So it's a lot of the people that are able to navigate their way through this and make a pivot. Like, we really don't do like the surprise video stuff, but we're gonna do it anyways because it's different. And you have to act. You have to go.
That's really cute. Like miking up a little kid like on ice.
People love it. Parents love it.
I would love it too. Like, that's really funny to listen to.
Yeah. So when we talk about pivots in our business and how we have to react, we have to react, go a pivot, we have to do different things. What do you think how that relates to you?
Yeah. Well, I think that's exactly kind of what I did, was pivoted to more writing for other people and writing on Zoom. So what happened, that was kind of what I had to do instead of just not do it, or like, so I ended up kind of, my world got my connections, I gained more connections from COVID with writing on Zoom, because I was just writing 3 or 4 days a week, more than I ever was, really, especially when I was home. That would usually only happen when I would go away to Nashville or something. And but it turned into, like, I was writing a lot for TV and film, so I was doing like sync camps. So basically they're like, sync is like getting your songs licensed, synced into a TV show. So I did maybe 4 or 5 of them, and so for 3 or 4 days, it's with maybe 30 other writers from LA and Nashville and here, and we'll have pitch sheets. So it's like, choose your own adventure on what you want to write. So the companies that put these camps on, they're going out and inviting people all into this group, and they make hay. If you get a sync on Grey's Anatomy, and they get it, right? And because they brought all these people together, and they're just getting little pieces of it, right? They're kind of like an agent, kind of like.
I got you.
So it's the same as like those TikTok houses in LA, like all those hype houses.
Somebody
owns that house.
Yeah.
Like, somebody is bringing all those people in, and they're making money off of. They all pay a percentage, and it's the same as these camps a little bit. So basically, you'll get a pitch sheet at the start of the week, and it'll be like Grey's Anatomy has a new season coming out next year. They're looking for dark, ominous tones. Sometimes there might be a scene, and like a guy dying on a hospital bed or something, and it's like, what does that sound like? And then it'll be like, Netflix has 16 new teen shows coming out in the next 3 years, and and half of them are Canadian and half of them aren't, and here's what they're looking for, and they need Canadian content. CanCon. They have to have 25%. And they're like, we're looking for things that sound like Ed Sheeran, but we can't afford Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
So, and they'll give you reference tracks, right? And it's cool. So, another session. This is the craziest story. So I ended up with this guy, Alexander. His name is. I'm not going to say his last name, but he was like a big kind of a pop artist guy in L.A. Years ago. Now he's a writer. He lives in Calabasas, and I ended up in a session with him and another guy from New York. The guy in New York was the producer, so he was making a track for this song they were supposed to write, and he was like, "All right, guys, we can write for one of these pitch sheets, but I have this weird pitch development deal with HBO for a documentary that it's about my life, and I'm writing." And he's like, my story, and he's like, I was like, okay, buddy, who the fuck are you? Like, like it's like,
Yeah.
and basically he's like, I got to tell you the story, and it's like, basically, this HBO is like, thinking about making a documentary on this guy's story, because what happened was, him and his wife had a kid, and then they wanted to have another kid, and they live in Calabasas, which obviously is a rich area in Los Angeles, and they couldn't have a kid, so they went to a fertility doctor, and everything was good. Everything was, she got pregnant. It was good, and this is a fertility doctor in America, and there it's like, it's probably $250,000, right? 200, like, definitely, right? So everything worked out. They have this kid. She's pregnant, and all of a sudden, she had the baby, and then every baby looks the same when they're a baby, like a week old. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not a big baby guy, but after like a couple of months, basically they start noticing this baby doesn't really look like them, all this stuff, and they realize like this baby is Japanese, and these are two like a white Caucasian people, right? And they're like, what the holy shit, like what the fuck, right? So then they go back to the doctor, and they wonder, like, what the hell is up? The sperm sample at the start got switched by accident, and they ended up having someone else's baby. Isn't that crazy? Hey, isn't that nuts?
Oh my god!
Yeah, I know. So this guy, I'm on Zoom. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, writing this song, and this guy is unloading, telling me this story.
He's like holding the kid.
Took an hour for him to tell me this, right? And they're like, and so we're like, we don't know what to do, right? And then we're like, where is our baby? Where's our, because the way that works, I'm assuming, is like there's DNA samples. So anyways, they do all this investigating, and randomly, this is crazy because people from all over the world go to this fertility doctor, and 25 miles down the road, they find the person that had their sperm and their baby, and it was like a Japanese guy, and another, obviously, like money as well, in the same kind of community, and they both found out, and they didn't know what to do, so they're like suing this doctor. Like, you can Google this story now, right?
How many years? When did you have this conversation?
Last year.
So are they going to make it? This documentary?
I'm not sure what the deal is of it anymore. So it's like, I'm assuming so. I read pieces of it online. Like, it's becoming covered in the news cycle.
Wow.
But so anyway, so then they're like, so here's the question: is like, this baby's a year old, right? Not even a year old. It's not. The attachment isn't quite there. They don't know. You're not, your cognitive level, everything's not fully developed. So they're like, do we switch?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Are they going to? Because technically, like, that's the seed of the man.
Yeah,
but it's just born in another woman. Like, it was in another woman's stomach.
Yeah, that's what isn't it?
So
it sounds pretty easy when you say it like that, but not like as like you carry this child and you love it and you're attached to it, and then you have it, and you just still obviously love this thing, like, and especially when you didn't know, and then you find out 9 months later after this attachment, yeah, it's tough, and it's your
morals come into
your
play.
morals come into play, right? And then it's like, is that selfish or is it not? And it's like, so anyways, after a year and all this stuff, and they meet this family, they switched.
Wow.
And but now they're raising these kids together. So now these families, not together, but they're like best friends.
Yeah,
they're great friends. So
dinner.
now it's like birthday parties. It's like these kids are now, because of just this story brought these two couples together.
Wow.
Right?
That's very cool.
And it's crazy.
It's a little messed up.
Oh, it's super messed up.
a
and they're going to get a big payout, I'm sure, from the doctor,
who
made that mistake. But
came in a little hungover.
Yeah. But yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's a crazy story.
One of the craziest stories. So basically, we were writing, as the song was going, he's like, I'm documenting, from the start to finish of this, and basically the music is reflecting like the times of how I'm feeling. It's like, I'm looking for a song of when this baby was born, and it's like, and I want like all this good. It's really weird.
That's the weirdest song ever.
I know, but it's like you can write it like it's this part like a Coldplay song of like let the light come in and like everything brightens. I don't even know. It was weird for sure, but it was interesting to kind of to write for that because it was so specific, right?
Wow.
And it's like it's setting a scene. So when you're writing music for not just a song, but you're writing for like it's like when Forrest Gump breaks out of his when Forrest Gump broke out of his leg cast, it's like what song would play there? Like it's kind of like visualizing, Eye of the Tiger, like when you're writing it in real time. So anyways, it's cool, but that story is weird, and I never talked to that guy ever again after that song, unfortunately. So I don't know if that song made the cut. I'll find out if the documentary gets made.
I'd be suing everyone, the secretary, the doctor, anyone that stepped foot in that establishment where they switch the sperm. Everyone.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, how that happen?
You get a payday eventually somehow. Someone's gonna be like, all right, just pay the guy.
Yeah,
eventually,
for sure.
I'm just gonna crack a beer. If you want one, go.
No, I'm good, but thank you.
Want one, Jeff? Is it noon yet? Oh yeah. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, it's noon. We're good. The moose green in a can.
Well, these are from Lund. That was the request. Or I actually pitched it. I was like, if you come over, I'll fill the fridge with whatever you want. And he goes, all right, I'm loyal. Moosehead Lager. I said, all right, I'll get it for you. Right.
That's funny. You don't see a lot of people drinking Moosehead anymore.
I never get it.
It's
a good beer.
It's a big New Brunswick beer. People love Alpine and Moosehead.
Well, his dad's from New Brunswick, and that's how he kind of got attached to it. He's like, yeah, my dad's from there, so we drank it growing up.
That makes sense.
Like, right. But yeah, it's a good beer. 5%.
Yeah, I remember Cold Filter. Remember Moosehead had like, it was an off-brand. It's kind of like the cold shot version of like, just another shitty beer.
I remember cold shots, and wow, what a beer when you're 15, 16. What a beer.
8 cold shots, drinking them in the woods, just getting blackout drunk.
The key was when you're in high, so it's Friday, you go to school with, I don't know how much they were. They were like a weird price.
They were like they were like $10. They were really cheap.
So you'd go to the guy in high school who had the best beard, that would go get the run for everyone. You'd give him, whatever it was, $10, give him 12 as a tip. And you just pray to God that he gets these cold shots, and then you meet him at a random field. He gives them to you. Cold shots were dangerous, though.
Yeah,
I remember
they were.
those.
Yeah, we'd have cold shot parties in university where go and make a pyramid in the middle of the room, and the boys you just have to drink them all. They're disgusting.
Easy to hide too. Skinny, tall.
Yeah.
Easy to hide.
Yeah,
you can get around with them.
They're like the size of a Red Bull. That's how big the cans were, which is crazy. And they're packing they were like 8%. They'll make you throw rocks at your own house. Like, tell your mom to go fuck herself.
Well, they've probably been both been done before while I've been on them. But crazy drinks. The first time I ever, this is junior high, was Fax.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember I don't want to drink too much, and someone tricked me. I forget who it was. I'm like, just drink one beer. one fax, and you're like, you're okay.
It's like a mini. It's like a mini keg. It's not even. It's bigger than a tall can.
But I remember that was my first experience. I was like, I want to get drunk, but I don't want to have like too many beer. Like, what? Just have a fax, Justin. Okay.
They're like the size of like those Arizona iced tea cans. They're a liter. and they're 12%.
Tastes like ass.
Yeah,
like,
they're
oh,
disgusting.
Jesus.
Yeah, those are gross.
Those were the days. Hiding it, getting it out of the house, bringing a backpack everywhere you went with it.
Oh yeah.
How many backpacks I went through when I was younger just to transport liquor.
Yeah, I used to like break into my parents' liquor cabinet, and I was so stupid. Like we would think like, oh, just every weekend I'm like watering down this 40 of gin until it is pure water and gross, and they'd have someone over and they'd pour them a triple or a double, and it's the grossest drink. It's disgusting, right? It's like, and I remember my old man taking me into the bar at my house, and he's like, Dave, what the fuck is this? And I remember he took this and he took a swig of the bottle, and he didn't want to do that. He's like, he's not that guy. Just to prove a point, to be like, this is pure water. He's like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Don't water my liquor.
Just
down.
tell me.
Just tell me.
Yeah.
Or don't. Go steal from somebody else.
The big thing in my house and a couple of other buddies too was it was like the parents didn't care. It was just drink beer. Don't drink the vodka. Don't drink rum. Don't drink. Like that was the big thing in my house. Like they didn't really care. It's just stick to beer.
Yeah.
That was always like a rule.
Yeah.
Just like if you're gonna drink, just drink beer. There. That was the rule with like my brother too. When I was older, got him runs. Like I'll get you liquor, but I'm only getting you beer. I'm not getting you vodka. I'm not getting you.
Nothing bad ever happened drinking beer, right?
Well, that could be another whole conversation. But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. I've been getting into country music lately.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
Who are you listening to?
Fuck.
Morgan Wallen.
I'm terrible with.
Chris Stapleton.
No. I just had it here.
Luke Combs.
No, this guy's old. I OD'd in Denver, and I don't remember her name. Who's that?
Her name.
Hank Williams Jr.
Oh my God.
I've been listening to a lot of Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah, he's like old Hank Williams Jr. Like obviously.
Like
oh my God, that's
back in
old
like
country.
the 80s, like 70s. Like
that's 70s, 60s stuff.
That's when I talk about like going back into like the dark webs of the internet. Not that this is dark, but
oh my God.
The second show.
This is old country music.
Is it?
Oh, old as dirt.
I just like the simplicity of it.
But I OD'd in Denver and I just can't remember her name.
Yeah, country music doesn't sound like that anymore.
Well, that's what when I was listening to it, I was like, is this country music or not?
Because it's like pure country music. That's like the original what country music is based off of. Country music's scope is huge now.
But so that's what I mean though. Because when I listen to country music now, I almost hear hints of rap.
It's pop music. It's country music has 808s and fake drums, and they're bangers. They're pop music with steel guitars with a twang. Like you can take a Dua Lipa song and put a country artist on it, and it's just the sound of his voice. The production is now the exact same. There's guitars and there's like, there's a little bit of different, more organic instruments in country music, but it's pop music. But there's so many different versions of country music now. Some of it sounds like rap, some of it sounds like pop music, and then there's like Americana, which is like more of the organic, which was kind of like folk. There's like guys like Chris Stapleton and Sturgill Simpson and Jason Isabel. These are guys that you don't know, but I know them. But obviously, I don't know them personally. But they're like, that's the country music I love, and that's like really great storytelling and songwriting, and it's like folk Americana music. But then there's like the pop, cookie cutter, cheesy, country music, which is sometimes fine too. It's like, it's huge. There's not just, you can't just narrow it down to like everything's country music, because what you just played, that's actually country and western music,
But do you understand my confusion a little bit? Because I don't listen
obviously,
to... Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows? Everything's like, it's wide open now. You know, you can't pigeonhole anything at this point.
The older I get, the music I like is more subtle.
Yeah, you're not listening to Eminem anymore.
No. Can't wait for him at the Super Bowl, but no.
Is he playing the Super Bowl?
Yeah, him, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar. It's in L.A.
Yeah, of course it is.
But yeah, I mean, music sets like a tone of my day. Like, there's always a song going. As soon as I wake up, I'm listening to classic jazz with my coffee. Just like no lyrics, just a classic.
Yeah.
Classic like coffee shop jazz. I'll chuck on some country like when I'm editing or something like that, like something like a little Hank Williams Jr. And then like later in the day, like if I'm working out, some hip hop for sure.
I listen to a lot of hip hop. Like I like that.
Yeah.
Mostly, I don't really listen to country music. I write it, but I don't really listen to it too often. I listen to pop music, hip hop, a little like folk music, like, but hip hop definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
But I also, there's just, let me ask you this. What are some of the things that you've picked up knowledge-wise? And maybe not even music, but just over these past 2 years, because you've had time on your hands, I have.
Yeah.
What are some things like you've picked up?
I mean, not much. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately, like, I haven't learned much in the last 2 years. Like,
No?
It's been like stagnant. I mean, I wish I had an awesome. I mean, I picked up golf
Yeah.
way more.
Same.
Like way more. And I'm looking at your clubs right now, actually. And you got a new hybrid.
Titleist.
Have you hit it yet?
No, I haven't.
What's this?
Little Christmas gift to myself.
Oh yeah, these are nice. You gotta go to a simulator and fucking smack that thing.
a couple times, but not with this thing.
Yeah, we went to Brunello the other day. My buddy's the new GM there, and
What's his name?
Mike.
I had a meeting with
Mike.
him the other day.
Yeah,
Good
he's
guy.
a beauty. So he's from where I'm from.
Okay.
So he actually texted me this morning about going out there and shooting some balls.
Yeah, because he was
tonight.
Because they were doing like a little live performance thing in the clubhouse, and he brought up your name. I think.
He's a huge beauty. Yeah,
great
and,
guy.
yeah, he is, and he's really turning that place around too. It's awesome to see.
When we were talking, he seemed busy. He's just like, I got a lot going on because they do more than golf. In the winter, they do other things.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
when we were there couple Saturdays ago, the parking lot was more full than I've seen it on a Saturday during golf season, because it was a beautiful day. So everyone is snowshoeing, snow skiing, taking their dogs for walks across the whole. Because now you can snowshoe through the whole course, and it's like already nice paths.
Awesome.
It's made. It's cool, and also I mean they're like, you know.
He was saying a lot of their tee times are already booked. For the whole are good.
Well, that's a sport that, I mean, it was always around. I learned how to golf when I was young, and then I really never had a lot of time during the summers because I was always touring or playing music. That was when I made hay, and the only golf I would play would be like charity tournaments and like musicians and hockey players and business guys, and they all get together for a weekend and drink and play some golf. But I played so much this year. I love it. It's a great excuse to get out and you know, no one's good at golf.
Huh.
You know, I always describe to golf when people don't play it. It's like, it's kind of like scrub hockey, in a way. It's like, as long as you can play the pace, everybody is welcome to play golf, and no one is chirping you. And it's like, you know, you can play. There's always going to be somebody that was a pro or is dangling around everyone else, but no one gives a shit. It's the same as golf. You might be playing with a scratch golfer, no one's counting score. You're just having fun, right? So
everyone's on the same playing
as
field.
long as you're keeping it in play, you know. And I'm a little better than that, but it's like, if you're, you know,
even if you're not keeping it in play, as long as you're not looking in the woods for too long.
That's what I mean. Like, it's pretty much that.
Yeah.
I mean, and so it's a great sport, you know. It's cool.
It's a lifestyle. It's more than a sport to me. It was this past summer. It was everything to me. Ask this guy. Just as soon as I was done a podcast, I was putting. I was just all I cared about. It probably will be this summer too. Golf.
Yeah. Where were you playing mostly?
Granite Springs.
Yeah.
Bugs are bad. Court's not the best, but they're not court. Course isn't the best, but it's close to the city. It's inexpensive.
They're talking about like Granite Springs out in
Peggy's Cove, like kind of Brookside, like a little
right
pass out there. But it's a great little course. Not little.
Yeah.
It's a big course. but it's granite. There's rock under it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you're,
that's
you're,
right.
you're hitting into the fairway, and you might get a bounce into the woods. You know.
Did you play after we did our mic up thing with Steve Lund, Dixon, and
At
Quake?
Osprey.
Yeah, Osprey, which was awesome. Did you play with Quake since then? Quake Matthews.
Oh God, yeah. We played like at least once a week.
He's a good golfer, eh?
Very good.
Where the hell did that come from?
Well, he played when he was younger.
Well,
Like he played with his old man when he was a kid. Gave it up.
Yeah.
Then now he's back into it, and those like fundamentals came back to him, and he still has
he's
them.
good. Yeah, I mean he's hitting the ball really good. It's actually impressive.
He's another one of those players who just like he only hits like 4 clubs.
Yeah.
Like he's really good with his hybrid from the fairway, gets it on the green somehow.
Yeah.
And then he'll somehow like 2, maybe 3 putt. He's just one of those guys that can just get it there.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of me too. I mean, play what you know.
Yeah. I remember I loved what you said. You were talking to Lund in the video. You're like, you guys were just sitting there kind of by yourselves in the fire. You're talking to Lund. You go, I just play golf just to hang out with the buddies, have some beer. And then Lund looks at you. There's like an awkward pause. He goes, yeah, me too. And then that was it. I was like, that was one of the best clips in the video.
He's such a beauty.
And then there was a really cool clip when you guys were way far, but somehow the mic picked it up. I think he had the mic on, but you guys were talking because Steve, he started his own band, and you guys were talking about music, and you guys sounded like you were talking a completely different language. Steve was like, when I get the bass and I get the drums and it's going bing, ba, bing, ba, bing, ba, bing, ba, bing, ba, bing, and you're going, oh, I know exactly what you mean, but it's not like that. It's more like ba, bing, ba, bing.
I couldn't even tell if he was like telling me the truth or not. I didn't even know if he actually played the drums. I couldn't tell if he was bullshitting me or not, but I don't think he is. He does play the drums. I think his brother-in-law maybe. He's in a band called Hot Monday.
That's a cool name.
It is a cool name,
Hot
isn't it?
Monday.
Monday. Mundy.
Hot Monday. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means, but
Me
I love
neither.
it. But I don't know what
Me
Led
neither.
Zeppelin means either, and that's a great band.
Well, that's the thing with band names, right? They have to sound really cool, but they I feel like they shouldn't. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Well, it's like a lot of things in life. Like Apple, what the fuck is that? But that's one of the biggest companies in the world.
That's true.
Like I feel a lot of these companies out there, the weirdest names.
What does high button mean?
Well, the same thing. It doesn't mean anything. It's a Seinfeld reference. So like the first and last scene ever of Seinfeld. The first scene, George and Jerry are sitting in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Jerry looks at George and goes, "Your second button. It's way too high. Like you live at your mom's house. Like what are you doing?" And I remember sitting there just being like, "Why?" Like I remember trying to think of the company. Like what do I call it? What do I call it? And Seinfeld's my favorite show, and I was like, "High button." There's something to that. High button.
I like it.
It's a
That's
little
what I
different.
mean.
It
is different, but it rings right. It
Yeah.
sounds good when you say it.
It's kind of our sense of humor,
Yeah.
like Seinfeld. It's
And you don't second guess it. You just like, this is what it's called. And it's like, no one's like, what the fuck does that mean? It's like, it sounds, it makes sense. I don't know why.
and people don't like. There's a million different names for when people come up to me and they go, "Oh, you're the high button guy," or "You're high button sports." Oh, high button. How are you? It's like people don't even know the name of the company. It's just the high button. High button sports.
High button sports. You're listening to High Button Sports.
But yeah, same thing. Didn't really mean anything.
Yeah, that's cool though. I like it. When am I gonna get one of those hats?
When you leave here, we got one waiting for you. That's a nice hat you got on there.
Yeah, this is one. This is a vintage Harley shirt.
You have a good hat collection. Like every time I
Yeah.
look at your music videos or just even your social media, you're always wearing like cool different hats.
The company sent me a bunch of these hats in the U.S., old school hats, and it's all vintage hats. So they sent me this one, an old Elvis one, a Mack truck hat, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know why.
You know who else is big into hats? Afy from Bahamas.
Oh yeah,
He's a big hat collector guy as well.
he's a beauty. Do you have him on this show?
Yeah. Oh my God, one of the best.
I don't know him. Like I'm
No?
like, oh, fuck no. I mean, I want to. I've been sliding into his DMs literally since I heard he was moving here. And it's
Dude.
like I'm not getting anything back. But he's like got a lot of followers and he's got a lot of. I'm not taking it personal at all.
That's
Like,
But
But I'm a huge fan. Like especially his comedy, like his like socials,
Yeah.
like what him just working out, like
Yeah.
it's really bizarre.
Yeah.
Like I can't like I
Different.
like his sense of humor is bizarre. Like I really like it, But how was that podcast?
Well, when he came on the podcast, I went to one of his shows 3 years ago at the Jazz Fest.
Yeah.
And we were sitting here. He was sitting exactly where you were, and I was talking about the Jazz Fest. And I was like, "Look, man, like you're a great performer. Everything, like the songs were wicked." But
Yeah.
I said to him, "What impressed me almost the most about you was your banter in between songs and how you were able to transition from song to song, talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
It impressed me so much. He goes, "Hey, I'm looking at a couple people out there from exit 7 going all the way out to East Hants. How you doing?" And just randomly being able to like connect with the audience, even though there's,
Yeah.
thousands of people out there, that would really impress me.
Yeah, that's a huge part of the live show, and it's like, is your banter.
Yeah,
Is, like,
banter.
is you hear so many stories of people that go to shows, especially like big, like old famous shows. Like someone will go to a Billy Joel show and be like, he never said one word the whole song, and it's like guys get a little crusty as they get older, I'm sure. But some people's banter sells the whole show. They don't give a shit about the music, which is not like, this has nothing to do with the music being bad. It's people take away different things from shows.
Yep.
And it could be stage presence, it could be the band, it could be the music, but like banter is a huge thing. Like going to a Rose Cousins show, who's an artist songwriter around here, who's like very well known across North America. She's amazing, and she is or Donovan Woods, like another buddy of mine, like he's from Toronto, but he's another really well known guy. They write the saddest songs ever. They're like songs you break up with someone and you just listen to those songs and you just cry. And those songs they're so sad, but their banter is so funny.
Yeah.
It just meets in the middle. Like their banter is like you're crying in stitches because of how funny it is, because it's self-deprecating and it's awesome and it's quick, and it's like you say you have people in stitches laughing, 1,000 people in a room, and then you play and it's like, anyways, here's a song about my dead dog. And it's like, it's very impressive to be able to, I'm lucky that I feel like I have the gift of gab in shows.
You need to have it.
And to be quick. And sometimes, you feel you're more on than not. And that's when it comes down to like drinking and playing shows for me. That is what really stops me from getting too drunk, is realizing that I have a microphone in front of me, and if I'm a little tipsy, you never know what you're going to say, or you just you're not as smart, you're not as on, you're not as sharp. As much as you think people are, having a couple of beers when you're playing. Everyone always asks me, like, are you token up a little bit before you're playing, or you're like, how many are you drunk? Like,
are you drunk?
Everyone assumes that, right? Because they're like, but it's like, I have a limit, and it's like usually 3 drinks.
Yeah.
3 doubles.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with that,
3
man.
doubles. I definitely don't like smoking weed and playing shows or writing or anything to do with that music. Like, it makes you stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love how you say it's definitely a big part of an artist's performance, of being able to have the gift of gab.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. You can relate as much as you can to a song, but to relate to the actual person in between songs, I think that don't, like, I've been a fan of the Bahamas for a while.
Yeah.
But which made me kind of a diehard fan was meeting him in person and that show and the gift of gab in between. I was like, oh, I can relate to this guy. He knows where exit 7 is.
Yeah,
it was like that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of times with songwriters, it's like the idea of like the story behind the song makes people really listen and enjoy the song a little bit when you hear a little bit of the background on like, here's what this song is about, and it's like, and it just kind of brings you in a little bit. That's why like songwriter circles are really cool. That's like such the Nashville kind of way. All these like songwriters rounds where it's like these, they talk about how this song was written, why it was written. Like a lot of times, like I write from the song title first, right? That's how I learned how to write mostly. So the title. Does this sound weird?
Oh yeah, that is weird.
Yeah.
So what's the name of let's say like the name of the song is Dream.
Well, that's like Dream. That's easy. Like there's the idea is like, so I learned, like, so I have my phone is full of like 1,000 titles, like maybe 2,000 now, and they're not titles. They're like hot words or sayings. And like I'll listen to like my hockey buddies or my guys from Cape Breton who are there's money in listening to conversations around people in small towns because of just the way people say things. It's like my song No Pressure No Diamonds, that was the Snoop Dogg Classified song that got like cut years ago in 2016. That was based off of, I was getting my hair cut from a barber and he had No Pressure No Diamonds tattooed on the back of his legs, and I just wrote that down and I was like, that sounds cool, and then I just brought it up in a session 2 years later and I wrote it like that. So
That's very similar to a comedian's process.
Yeah.
Of listening to conversation and
Yeah.
forming it into something else.
Yeah, you're
And-
forming it into like, and it's like the idea is to like make sure like it's not just the title but the story around it, and you make sure like you have to find like an interesting angle on what that title means. I'm trying to think of like an example. It can't just be like, oh, this song's called Dreams because that sounds cool. It's like, what does that really mean? What's the kind of smart, like Morgan Wallen is like an artist. Like he has a song called Drinking Glasses, right? Or I'm gonna need some whiskey glasses, right? And it's like it's called Whiskey Glasses. But the idea is when you read that, the title is clickbait. Song titles are fucking clickbait. They're like, what does that mean, whiskey glasses? But the chorus is like, I'm gonna need some whiskey glasses because I don't want to see the truth. So it's like the idea
That
is
was
like,
good. That
so
was
it's,
really good.
You know what I mean? So it's like he's not talking about physical whiskey glasses. He's talking about drunk glasses. He's talking about like, you know what I mean? It's really kind of like there's the spin on it, and that is what country music is all about. It's like fun in the back door to a song title.
I like that. The
Yeah.
back door.
You know what I'm saying?
The
like,
back door.
Yeah. So it's really cool. It's like because it has to be smart. That's what country music is really like smart lyrics but dumb lyrics.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a
The dumb, like it's really way harder to write a dumb country song than an artsy song about like the moon is like your eyes and the stars are whatever. Like that's really easy to put a bunch of furniture in the room for like an artsy song like that because you can just say whatever the fuck you want and call it music. And some people might love it, but country music has to be like everybody should be able to listen to it. There should be it should be clever, but it should be just easy. It should be like reading a kid's book. But that shit is really hard to write because it's like it's so easy. It sounds crazy.
It does sound weird.
It sounds weird, but it's like, and everyone listens to like stupid country music. They're like, I could fucking write that.
Yeah.
But it's like it's hard because it
sounds so simple.
It's so simple, but it's just
Like Hank Williams and I OD'd in Denver and now I can't remember her name.
Yeah. I mean, that probably happened.
Yeah, it's like I made the first show, but I did not make the second because I don't know. It just
it's yeah. I mean, who knows? He probably did OD in Denver. Like those guys were crazy.
The doctor said I have to stop doing this cocaine. Like,
yeah,
it's a weird, unique talent you have, man. I said that to Steven yesterday. The launch. I was just like, how many professional actors are in this world? Less than 500,000. Like. Definitely way less.
And less than the ones that are working too. It's like
making a living.
Yeah, making a living.
Same with songwriters.
Yeah.
How many 6 billion people on this earth, and you're the guy that's able to actually muster up a song and sell it.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a weird. I don't know.
I think it's like jobs like that and jobs like what I do and what you guys do and what special kind of niche things. I think the idea is to make sure you have multiple revenue streams. It's not just one thing. And I think that's like how
you got the shows.
That's like that writing. With everything, in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of broke lawyers out there. And there's a lot of broke like doctors that are just want to work clinics. And there's you know what I mean? It's not always
the guy that switched the
so
sperm.
Cookie. Yeah, it's not so cookie cutter, right? And I think like finding smart ways to make money and revenue streams, and it's like, and I don't even know. It's different. It's hard to explain.
Very fortunate though. I wake up every day and I go,
too.
it's Monday morning. I don't have to answer to anybody. I get to go down and talk to a cool human being who I know has, similar aspirations in the artistic world. I'm very, very, very fortunate for this job. But I think that's kind of why I succeed at it, is because I don't take it for granted, and I'm very fortunate to do it, and I know that every day.
Yeah.
I'm not, there's something out there that allows me to do this. I don't know what it is, but I'm just very fortunate that I can do it, and I think that's part of my secret to success.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. The same deal. Like, we were very lucky, and I mean, I worked a lot of shitty jobs and realized really quick that what I didn't want to do, and I realized I can't. It's hard. I found it hard to work for somebody else, and I just couldn't. I don't even know why. I was just was always resistant against any boss. So that made me want to push to do what I do now more than ever.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, it's weird.
What are you doing the rest of the day?
I have a meetings this afternoon. I'm just gonna hang out. There's not much going on this week. Honestly, there just isn't. I'm not going home to write a fucking song.
I wish you said I got a flight to Nashville.
No, I don't. I wish I did. I have meetings this afternoon. What is it, Tuesday? Yeah, there's not much going on here, but
What is it?
they're just like, is it Tuesday? Is it Monday?
No, it's Tuesday.
But fuck. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's just not much going on. This is a slow season for
Everyone.
always, and it always was for musicians, especially January. I mean, there's just nothing going on, so it's a good time to like start writing. I'm going in the studio in a couple of weeks here to cut a couple tracks and a couple of demos, the songs that I've written that I don't have laid down, but that's about it. I mean, I'm going to go to Nashville in a couple of months and start my record.
Nice.
And which is really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm fucking stoked. Like, it's been a long time coming.
What you just must. It sounds like you just love the energy in Nashville. Like that's why you love the
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love anywhere really, but yeah, I do. I mean, that's the only place in the world where I'm surrounded around everyone is in my industry.
Yeah.
I'm not around anybody here that's like that.
Yeah.
At all. So it's like, there's 25,000 songwriters in Nashville. That's the industry. There's no other place in the world where music is that industry in a town.
That's like hockey here.
It's like Hollywood. It's like going, it's like going to LA and it's actors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, the thing is with Nashville and all the writers in it, there's a lot of bad writers. There's a lot of bad. Same as like everyone from every small town in the US from, Idaho or something, and you're a great singer. Everyone's like, you gotta get on the bus and go to Nashville. It's the same as like any hot girl from Idaho.
Yeah.
And they're like, you should be an actor. You should go to Hollywood. And they get off the bus, and it's like, and it's all kind of bullshit. It's harder than that. Yeah. I mean, out of there's probably really only 1,000 people that are writing all the songs in Nashville out of that number.
But I feel like you have a skill set to be able to weed those bad writers out.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
I'm not around it. I mean, I'm lucky enough where my connection with my mentor Gordy Sampson, who I started writing with, no relation, same last name. He lived there he's from where I'm from in Cape Breton.
He has those camps, right?
Yeah,
Quake
he is.
Goes to,
I went to them. Like, I went to every one of them forever. And that's how I met him when I was 20.
Quake has nothing but amazing things to say about those.
Oh
things.
yeah. That's how I met Quake. That's how I met Port Cities.
Okay,
that's how I made. We were there like. That's how I became friends with all those guys.
Okay.
But he's the one that kind of brokered me into Nashville. Gordy, he wrote like Jesus Takes the Wheel. He wrote like, that's a legacy song. That's a song that's mailbox money for the rest of your life and his daughter's life.
I think Jay-Z quoted that lyric in one of his songs. Jesus Take the Wheel.
Yeah,
like
everyone. That's a
crazy.
cultural reference now, and he like wrote that song about. I mean, that song was written for Carrie Underwood, and I mean, he wrote that song about an accident that his aunt got in on the Big Pond number 4 highway coming into Sydney, Cape Breton. Like, because she's like, I got in an accident. I was on black ice. I said, Jesus, take the wheel. And then all of a sudden, and it's like, and that was just this. It was cool, and that was just a random song that was in his catalog, and it got picked up by Carrie Underwood, and he's had, dozens of number ones and big cuts ever since, and so he's kind of, when I started going there, I skipped many years of living in Nashville, and working up the ranks because he was vouching for me. So all my sessions were always with awesome people, great people. I was,
It's awesome.
I'm very lucky. Yep, it's good.
So many good people around here to surround yourself with that want to help. I love it. Story after story after story after story of people helping one another.
Yeah, well, I think that's the community. I mean, that's my, if you ever ask me for anything, I'm there for you.
Oh, right? You're here now. I asked you to come here.
Yeah,
you're here.
It didn't have anything else going on.
Oh, no, that makes me feel better.
No, I'm just joking. I would still come here. This is a good time, so I appreciate you guys having me, and I'll always come back. So
we love having you. You're always a good storyteller, and we love. I love getting to know the other side of the entertainment industry when it comes to music. So I appreciate you coming over.
Oh, thanks for having me. That's great. I appreciate it.
I want to come to Nashville with you. Set something up. I want to go to a hockey game, and then we'll go have beers after. You'll be in the studio. I'll go to the hockey game. We'll meet for beers.
Gotta go to a Titans game. Like, that's like the stadium is right in the middle of the city.
Are they still in it or are they out? Titans?
They're out. They're out. But you can get cheap tickets for Predators games there too.
Oh yeah, they're good. The Predators.
Well, actually, it's not as cheap anymore because they're they're significantly better. But usually,
And aren't they right next to the bar too? Like that?
Oh,
right?
it's right. Like it's literally like it's Bridgestone Arena is right off Broadway.
Yeah.
It's you tailgate at the bars and you can walk right up to.
There's
that
good
arena.
story because the Pittsburgh Penguins won the cup in Nashville 3, 4 years ago. The last time Pittsburgh won the cup, it was in Nashville, and there's some good stories about how like they partied in Nashville that night when they won the cup.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun. It's a cool city, man. It's a lot of like. I mean, I don't necessarily love downtown, just because it's like, it's so lit. It's like Vegas, but country music.
That sounds fun though.
I know it sounds.
What's
fun for a
bad
minute.
about that?
Well, it's just like a lot of like. It's just a lot. You
It's
know,
a lot,
I'm
yeah.
getting old. I feel like.
Yeah.
You know.
You ever been to New Orleans?
I wish.
I heard New Orleans is like the French
Yeah,
Quarter there.
I would love to go there. Yeah.
Food's good too. But like apparently some of the best restaurants in America are in New
Oh
Orleans.
yeah, I would love to go see that as just a cultural experience.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to go to Memphis. I'd like to go see, is Beale Street, is that Memphis or is that New Orleans?
No idea.
I don't know. Anyways,
Lots of places I want to get down to.
Yeah.
And it's funny how now it's like I'm in a business where I'm actually able to travel, like in a financial position to like move,
Yeah.
and I can't. It's very,
Yeah,
we were supposed to go to Vancouver. We were supposed to go to Vancouver 3 days ago to interview guys in the NHL. The players were on board with it. Okay, good to go. But the NHL media teams said no, you can't meet them in person. You have to do it over Zoom.
yeah.
So it's like trip canceled. Can't it just
Yeah,
so many
that's
things
too
where we're
bad.
able to move but just can't.
Did this is a weird question, but did you over the last couple of years did you catch COVID?
No.
Not at all.
To be fair, I didn't really test a lot,
Yeah. Okay.
but.
Good to know.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, but I felt fine. Like
Yeah. Well, I'm only asking now because it's crazy. I mean, this new variant, like we spent, a year and a half avoiding COVID, and then all of a sudden, everybody I knew had it in the last 2.5 months from this variant. Like, I mean, I caught it. Like, I spent so much time avoiding this shit. And my partner is a nurse. She was in the COVID unit forever, and we did all this stuff. And then I drove her friend home from work. Randomly, I picked up Marcy, and her friend just had in my backseat for 5 minutes, had COVID, and didn't know, and I got it like that. And it was like, and I felt it for one day. My partner had it, and she never felt it all. There was no symptoms at all. I was kind of relieved that I got it over with. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, for some reason in my brain, I feel like now I'm immune to it, and I'm indestructible. But I know that's not the truth.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely like.
as long as it makes you happier. It's like,
Well, I don't necessarily think it makes me happier, but it's
You
like,
beat it. You beat it.
Yeah, I beat it. But
You're Hulk.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. But anyways, it's it's a weird time. I don't know when it's gonna not be around, but I think we got to figure it out just to get back to normal. Like I miss going to a packed bar. Like I miss going to like seeing strangers and like, you know what I mean? Like anything like that. Like that's
we'll be back. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be bigger. We'll be stronger.
Yeah. I feel bad for like the kids in their like first year university.
I was saying that to my barber the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that I was thinking about that, like, people missing like huge, like when you're 19 and 20 and 21 and you're like, people are paying for university and they're not getting any of the fun. They're not,
I remember being 18, waiting to turn 19 to go to the bars and just
Yeah.
let loose, and
Yeah.
you can't do that now. Oh,
it would suck. I wouldn't go. I'd just be like,
wait for the actual experience.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of like if they just postponed university altogether in Canada, and then it's a bunch of kind of mature students.
I know.
Partying.
I know.
Like
unit. Like remember you must have been able to experience the Palace.
I actually missed the Palace because I moved to Halifax in 2014.
Oh, okay.
Right
You
when the
missed
Palace was closing, and I missed a lot of that stuff. I was at St.
The
Evex.
Pogue?
And
Did you get the Pogue?
I love the Pogue and
Been-
the Frigate down in the basement.
Yeah,
I had a
okay.
buddy that was a bouncer at the Pogue.
I bet he has some stories.
Oh yeah, and I liked that too. I don't know what happened to that. I mean,
People kept sneaking. Well, security wasn't the best there. That's already
Obviously they
but
were,
people.
yeah.
Well, drinks were really cheap. You can get a pitcher of beer for like $5.
Yeah.
And
anyone could get in. That's why I remember going there when I was a kid. Like not kid,
and,
but 19.
and you could sneak
18.
liquor in. You could get it. Like they would always pack it.
Yeah.
And it was only packed one day of the week, Thursday.
Yeah.
It was wing night, and then as soon as the wings night was done, they'd clear the tables and chairs out. Then everyone would pack in for the drinks. because it was a special on pitchers, and that Thursday was it would be
Yeah.
Thursday Pogue, Friday like Cheers, Palace, Dome, whatever, and then Saturday would be the Palace, Friday would be the Dome. Yeah, those were the times.
Yeah.
Just
Were they though?
the fuck. Yes. 100%.
joking.
They were, man.
I've never experienced I've never been to the Dome, which is I walked in there once by accident when I was in Cheers.
What do you mean by accident? Oh, because it's connected.
It was
yeah.
connected. And I just turned around. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, so many.
But I was just I moved to Halifax when I was a little older, so I missed the
Yeah.
I've never been to Boomers, which is random. I just feel like I was in my later 20s when I started to kind of hang around Halifax, so I never got to experience I wasn't going to a club and hanging out there, which just wasn't my vibe. When I'm not chirping them or anything. I was just felt like I was too old to experience. If I was 19 to 26, I would have loved it.
Great time.
Obviously,
But now you're performing for everyone. So you're setting the times.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're making the times.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you are. You are. All right, man. I got to let you go.
all right.
Dave, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. You're the man. Thank you.
Thanks
once
for
again.
having me. I appreciate it.
I hope to see you back out there soon, and I'm hammered listening to you play, perform, having a great time. I hope that day comes very soon.
Looking forward to that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Work hard, have fun. It's Tuesday, so this episode's coming out tomorrow. Wednesday, hump day. Have fun, work hard. We are out. Dave, thank you. Jeff, everyone, stay healthy, have fun. We're out. Peace.